Welcome to TheoTrade. This is Don Kaufman. Here we are. It is December 7th, 2016. You are watching the Theo Night video. Now, I'm recording this when there's still about 45 minutes left in the trading session. And that's because, well, number one, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell are all exploding into number one, unforeseen territory, and number two, all-time highs pretty much across the board. The first thing you have to ask yourself, again, with pretty much 45 minutes left to play in the period, are we there yet? Okay. I mean, again, traders across the board, my screen is lit up ultimately with traders asking, are we there yet? You know, or better yet, is this the top? And allow me to show you what these traders are looking for. So, and happen to be looking at, first and foremost, the S&Ps are up about 25 points right now, and they're doing it on ever increasing volume. So as the day has progressed, we'll go take a look at the volume, this rip to the upside. I mean, there have been some phenomenal size trades, and really inside of the last hour of trade and what feels like kind of docile trade, you know, hey, we're hitting, 4 or 5, 10,000 contract minutes out there. So volume is actually getting it done. So what a lot of traders are telling me right now, they're like, this feels like it. This feels like the blow off top. What are they looking at? Okay. And moreover, why do they keep saying, are we there yet? Is this it? Is this the top? And it's very specific. So not only are we seeing each of the index products breach into all-time high territory. Again, you can even go back over to the Russell product, which has had kind of a tumultuous ride in the last few trading sessions. It actually forging into new territory. I mean, the Dow, let's have some fun with this, but the Dow is only 500 points off. Again, 500 points off, 20,000 out there. Now that's a big number. That's a big enchilada. But again, let me take you to the specifics here of why traders are really, as we say, well, the ducks are quacking out there. Why are they quacking? Number one, the volatility futures. This is the one that's perplexing so many traders. So the volatility futures, more often than not, when you see markets up and up big, and they are up big, over 1% is a fairly large move to the upside. This is one of the larger moves that we've seen as of late, okay, in what's been kind of grinding action in the last few days. Now we're exploding back to the upside. But we're all looking at the volatility futures, and the volatility futures, you just have to glance at them, whether you look at the 42-day volatility futures, and again, I'll highlight these, all right, as they're only down 15 cents. Okay, the shorter duration volatility futures are roughly flat on the trading day. Now, if volatility futures don't really kind of strike your fancy, then you go look at something like the VIX. Now, the VIX is nothing more than a measurement of SPX option implied volatility. Nevertheless, it's up today. That's screaming to a lot of traders. In addition, all right, so yes, we're looking at markets at all-time highs, and it doesn't seem to make sense because volatility is up when the market's up. The other thing that really strikes us as odd, lately when the bonds have been up, the market's actually been down. Here we have the bonds up over a point. Now a point is a fairly large move to the upside in the bond product. So now the bonds throughout the course of today's session have been rallying. Was that enough to cool financials? No. The financials now are rallying along with the bonds. I mean, we're literally getting a situation, cats and dogs living together. You've got risk metrics increasing. You've got what we term risk on, risk off products moving in relative tandem. Typically, they move inversely to one another. Okay, there have been periods of time when we've seen the bonds move up and the market move up and vice versa. But lately, the bonds moving up have actually taken interest rates, and we've discussed interest rates, okay, pretty much ad nauseum lately. But usually when interest rates are going down, and that's exactly what the interest rate is doing today, in the last couple of days, the interest rates has gone down. As those rates are going down, doesn't matter. The financials continue to rally. Last but not least, we scroll to the bottom of the screen. Short-term VXST. All right, VXST. What is that out there? Well, the VXST is nothing more than the 9-day VIX. It's up. The long duration VIX, this is a VXV. It's flat. That's a 90-day VIX. Okay, the VVIX, that's the volatility of the volatility index. How curious, it's not moving down today. Again, everywhere we look, there are signs that are highly unusual. Do any one of these as a standalone indicate that the markets are topping out? Absolutely not. Nevertheless, okay, we are in an extremely stretched situation right now. And for those of you unaware, listen, I have been short markets, and moves like this, they are painful to the upside. No question about it. This is the market, sparking and lighting a fire to the upside. Obviously, this candle stands out as, again, a 25-point move is far beyond anything that has been expected. At this point in the game, we're going to sit back. We're comfortable with the amount of risk that we have on, and we're going to see as the week progresses what ultimately occurs, given the fact that, again, even with 40 minutes left in the trading day, there's still the chance that markets could cool off. Doesn't look like it right now. Nevertheless, the fact that volatility is not backing off, that bonds are getting bid and markets are higher, again, there's a little bit of chaos in the works over here. Keep your head on the rest of this week. Don't panic. Be comfortable with risk. And I keep reiterating this point. If you're long these markets, remain incredibly nimble. This is what a squeeze looks like. This is what a squeeze feels like. Okay. Not only do I mention a squeeze over here, but again, volatility being up with markets up 1%, again, gets a little bit absurd out there. Thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTrade. Again, much to see in the next few days of trading and the remainder of this week. Thanks everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.